Welcome back. During this pandemic, many employees are being told just to work from home.
And joining us now is psychotherapist and licensed clinical social worker Jaime Bronstein, kind of to clarify what we can do so cabin fever doesn't set in necessarily, right? A lot of people are home. Jaime, what are some of the first couple of things that they can do to not go stir crazy?
Yes, the number one thing to do is to exercise. And we do that because it increases our mood, it prevents anxiety and depression. It's really good to be getting that body moving. Another thing you can do is make sure that you're being social, not in person, but make sure that you're communicating with people from work and your friends and your family through the phone or FaceTime.
How many hours a day? I mean, it's easy to get distracted when you're at the house. You know, you probably are on your laptop going, working from home, but you got the television on. How do you keep from getting distracted, and how many hours should you actually put into actually working while you're at the house?
So I think you should replicate your life at the office as much as you can at home. If you need to make a schedule to just stay on task. And of course, it's important to take breaks, but just make sure that after you take that 15-minute break, that you come back to the work so you stay on task.
There's a lot of jokes going around that, basically prior to having to stay home, everyone's, fit and in shape, and then everyone's gaining weight, because the food is now in the pantry.
Right.
It's psychologically, how can we work through that?
Well, I think just to have that inspiration to know that by moving around and working out, even if it's just 20 minutes a day, then you'll actually do it because you know that it's going to prevent you from having some anxiety and depression, which nobody wants that.
Yeah, when this thing finally ends, is it going to be awkward when people start getting back together? Because now even we're being told we got to keep our distance here on the anchor desk.
I know, I think about that a lot. For me, I've always been very germ conscious, so I'm just happy that society is getting on board. But yes, I think about that a lot. But we're all very resilient people, and we will all be able to just get back to normal when it's time to get back to normal.
One thing, I stayed home this weekend, and I stayed alone. With no dogs. He passed last year, so I was by myself a lot, talking to friends. And at some point, even after 2 days, not only does loneliness kick in, but also sort of like, what day is it? Sort of like, why am I here? Why am I home? Am I sick and everyone else is working, but I'm not sick? And it's weird how our mind kind of goes astray.
Well, I always say this is a great time to start journaling. To just kind of put down what your feelings are at the moment. And also just be creative. You can learn a new recipe, learn a new language, keep that brain moving even though you're at home.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you're one of those, like you're a single person, you have a roommate situation? How do you deal with that when you got this going on?
Yeah,
good luck.
So I always just say, just be compassionate towards one another, listen to each other's needs and really respect that. The last thing you want is to be living with somebody who you're constantly fighting with and on each other's nerves. And if you are both working from home, or if there's one person working, you really just need to respect their needs. If they need to just focus the whole day and not be interrupted, you could even text, an email, even in the same house. And absence makes the heart grow fonder. So at the end of the day, it's good to be able to actually catch up.
It's really interesting. I thought for a moment maybe I'll have a friend come over, a girlfriend come over, and then I chose not to. But they're saying 10 or more, so can you essentially have a friend over, or not?
I would just say make sure that these are people that are very close to you, that you trust, and you've asked, have you been anywhere since you've been at your house?
Yep.
And just be really careful. And in general, even if you're home by yourself or with one or two other people, do fun things, have a good attitude, do some TikToks. We need more TikToks
happiness.
In this world. And just have a good attitude and be in acceptance of this time, of slowing down and just stopping for a minute. It's okay.
Jaime, thank you.
All right.
It's nice.
Thank you so
it's
much.
okay. That's a good point.
It's all
Thank
okay.
you.
All right, good advice. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you can follow Jaime on her social media or her website at therelationshipexpert.com.